He's like 8 ones, he has like 8 twos, and he has like
But when that's backing up
13
4
threes.
condemned,
It's hard to crank a ratchet on that high.
when it's backing up 4 condemned, 4 Day of Judgment, though, it becomes a little bit more meaningful.
Right.
So I'm going to actually say Bernat, I think, is going to win this round.
Same.
And Vampires versus Valakut, we said Valakut. And Valakut versus Blue-White, the way he has this built.
Blue-White's typically favored, but Bernat only has 2 spreading Cs and not a whole lot to bring in, and he's still got a ton of spot removal that wants to come out. So, possibly Valakut, but
I mean,
it's definitely close.
I could see Bernat winning this whole thing. When we get our opening hands, it looks like Bernat has a Jace, has sufficient land.
Now, do we employ the new rule, the Pro Tour rule? No, we do not. I like that rule, though. It's an interesting rule. The Pro Tour is recently employed, where a person with the highest standings after the Swiss gets to choose whether or not they want to play or draw.
I like that rule a lot.
So what? Good rule.
All right, no 1-drop for Boros. Bernat's definitely happy to see that.
Yeah, Bernat has a Condemn and a Journey in his hand.
And a Leak, a Pierce, and a Jace.
Yeah.
What I see here,
Pretty,
Bernat clearly sees his lands as the aggressor in this matchup, and he's right. You know, his lands are what's going to be doing the aggression in this matchup for the most part. Preordain in hand.
So it looks like Bernat is probably going to try and condemn this GOP and then like leak his follow-up maybe.
I hope he does that. There we go. He's doing the right play there. And here's the 5/5.
Oh, going to respond to that fetch. Should have fetched main phase, but overall the gaining 2 life probably won't matter that much.
yeah, it's not overly relevant. I mean, he's going to be pegging away with Squadron Hawks. Or he's probably going to be removing his library from the game with the Jace. I mean,
Ben Robinson could double threat here afterwards and get one thing through, but there's still a point elim in Bernat's hand. That seems like a good thing to manage.
Yep, I would agree with that one. Huge threat. Ben has 2 swords in his deck, and adventuring gears and stuff, those Hawks.
Yeah.
Actually pretty big threats.
And like right here, if you lay a Jace onto the table, if he has the land,
yeah, it's pretty brutal. Just play
he does
Jace
not
here.
have the land, it doesn't look like.
Looks like
Yeah,
he has
he
a
does.
plane.
Yeah, I think he
Does
has
he have
plants
it?
in his hand, yeah.
Oh.
He's thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What happens if a bushwhacker comes down?
Well, he also knows his opponent has Hero of Oxid Ridge. He knows his opponent has Koth. He knows his opponent has...
Yeah.
You know, like he's seen the deck list. He knows the iterations of cards his
And
opponent could have.
he knows his opponent has 25 lands, which means that he should be aware that it's likely that he can probably drop a 4. I still like dropping the Jace.
Yeah, Jace, Fate Seal, probably yourself. Because
Yeah.
you don't necessarily know what your opponent needs.
Absolutely. His opponent has so many cards in hand, a Fate Seal is not necessarily going to be very effective. Well, other way around, though, I guess. Yeah, I would have liked the Fate Seal myself there.
Maybe he just wants some info.
You left him with the step links.
It's a pretty good one to leave you with.
It's definitely reasonable.
Going for the 4 here means very likely... I mean, he's doing that before he does anything else, so...
You gotta assume, especially after you drew a step links, that he's gonna use all his mana this turn.
Yeah. Here comes Koth, maybe. Oxid.
Looks like a hero.
Yeah, that's an Oxid. Down to 1.
Yeah, seems like Bernat's okay with that. Drew a mana leak this turn, so he gets the journey and mana leak.
And he has a pretty good reason to believe that his opponent does not have a burn spell, because what I would have done if I had the burn spell, end of turn, cast the burn spell, follow up with the Oxid Ridge to kill the Jace.
Right.
He didn't do that, so it's probably not in his hand at all. That killing that Oxid should be enough to keep his Jace going for a while.
Jace is so good.
It's okay.
So frustrating to watch people play with it. I'm always like, man, whenever I play it, it's always so hard. People always have such like a board advantage. You don't even have to work for it.
Yeah. It's tough, though. Like, Jace and Gideon both, you know, going up to 5 loyalty or 8 in Gideon's case, it's just so tough to kill.
Yeah, you end up like it makes aggro decks just like really like you have to know when to switch gears like really well.
Okay, so he has a mana leak, and does he have a condemn in his hand as well?
Not sure about that one.
I'm not sure.
I thought I saw a condemn, but I'm not willing to bet money on that. Check. That seems like a leak-worthy target.
Well, Bernat has a Squadron Hawk of his own, too,
does
so he
he?
can match him.
Okay,
So the only thing that's really going to matter is the equipment.
totally fair. Thank you.
Yep, and he lets it resolve. Bernat has a lot of patience.
Yes, he is very willing to take some time with his game play, how it comes out, how it develops.
Very meticulous. Everything is well planned. You know, most players, they have a mana leak, they would just mana leak the first spell possible.
Here he is thinking. See the hands? Probably. Let's see. Hand on fist, leaning forward. Weak is strong. Let's see.
Remember in Indy, the last Indy Open, Bernat top 8 and lost game 3 against Goblins because of the sudden overtime.
Okay. For those of you who didn't hear Rashad at home, Rashad is reminding us that at the last Star City Games Open in Indianapolis, Rashad remembers very clearly Mike Bernat, top 8, losing in sudden death because came to time. These are timed rounds. And, well, Blue-White is not particularly good at winning in sudden death unless it has life gain coming out real quick.
He had Scepter with Swords to Plowshare.
Oh, God.
So it was like 10 to 30 when he had control. It was like time it around. It was awesome.
And here comes your first caw-caw.
Squadron Hawk with Jace is so dirty.
It is really disgusting. Like, that's like living the dream. I remember when Squadron Hawk was printed, people basically said two things. They said, "Oh, that'll be so great when you use it with Jace," and then basically no one did it for a couple of months.
Yeah.
And then finally, somebody puts it together.
Yeah, I mean it's just really really sick. Just to clarify before, leaning forward and when you're touching your face, it's a sign of weakness as far as poker tells go. I mean, it's clearly not a sign of weakness right now, but just in general. When you see that, don't be like, oh man, he's got it all. I can't play around anything, because normally if somebody's touching their face or leaning forward, they've got absolutely nothing. You can just combo them right in the dome.
Bolt. Pointing it at the Jace, even though that's not where it's pointed yet. Jace has done his work.
Are his last two cards Squadron Hawks?
I think so.
No, he has
should-
one Squadron Hawk in the bin. He encountered
Oh,
earlier in the
right.
game.
Okay, so he does.
Yeah.
He has one in his hand.
Yeah, he's Squadron Hawk
Squadron
X.
Hawk
in his
X.
hand.
Preordain. On one side of the table, we have 5 lands from Blue-White, a Squadron Hawk, and a Journey to Nowhere holding off a Hero of Oxidridge. On the other side, we have 5 lands and 2 Squadron Hawks. A 6th land from Mike Bernat is Celestial Colonnade.
Hero would be fantastic right now if it wasn't under that journey. Pumping up the Hawks, getting past your opponent's Hawks.
He's got another hero in his deck.
He does have two?
He's 2 heroes, 1 cough.
Hero's really good.
Okay. Bernat just letting the game play out slow. It's how he wants this game to proceed. His life total. Look at that life total. It's
Yeah.
Pristine.
I mean, I have this feeling that if Bernat was, if he had a sack land in his deck, I'm not sure if he has that in his deck, that he might just pointedly not sacrifice it just to make sure he had a flawless victory.
Those flawless victories are important.
It's true. You know the funniest when you get the flawless victory on somebody, or like the perfect when you play Street Fighter at the arcade. Did you guys go to arcades when you were a kid?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like they would like put in more quarters to play against you again. You're like, really? Like you want to run this back? Like this,
I just
that went
ran
so well
bad.
for you.
Well, sometimes you want to learn against a master like yourself, though.
I just remember like as
Goblin
a kid
Guide
like, thinking
comes
that was
down.
one of the funniest things. When I'd like perfect somebody and they just put more money in.
He's got that sack land hanging out that can make his Geopede into a 3/3 at any time. Doing a little bit of counting, but basically there's a Celestial Colonnade over there that can come up and have another mana free to cast a Mana Leak or the Fear of a Deprive, which Mike Bernat does have in his deck. Here they come. Reveals Stoic Rebuttal.
Now Mike has a Gideon in his hand too.
Oh my
So-
god.
Yeah, he's going to.
I would not want to be sitting in Ben Robinson's seat right now.
Neither would I. I mean, it's an interesting point though that Mike kind of gave himself a dead mana leak. Like the mana leak's really, I guess he needs to dodge. Like there are one-ofs that are extremely dangerous for him.
Now, importantly, Mike Bernat is apparently rooting for the Packers tomorrow.
Seems like there's a lot of that going on in this top 8.
Ben Robinson, the Packers. Brandon Nelson, the Packers.
A couple of people said they are going to be playing Legacy
Yeah.
instead. So
Drew Levin is rooting for Legacy. I am with Drew Levin.
same.
Matthew Landstrom rooting for Legacy. And then Packers. Brewers from Chris Anderson.
Anderson has Marlins crossed out, and then he put Brewers. And then another Packers fan.
Another
after that.
Packers fan.
So 5 for Packers, 2 for Legacy, 1 for baseball.
So we have the Goblin Guide being blocked by the Celestial Colonnade. There's blue available to hold back for the Mana Leak. The crack on the Sackland means he's going to hit for 4, finally reducing Mike Bernat's life total.
5.
Or for 5, my bad, thank you. No, for 3. I don't think he.
Oh, okay, yeah,
I don't
sure.
think that was. So it's for 3.
We're all wrong.
Yeah, dur.
I like how you play Arc Trail and you can just like move it around on the table and people just know what you mean.
Did Bernat have a leak or a deprive or something?
He did not have a deprive, but I thought he had a leak.
He did have a
No,
lead.
he used that leak on that Step Links a while ago.
Gideon.
Oh, it was a Stoic Rebuttal on his hand.
Yeah, it's 2 Stoics, I think. Uses Gideon to shoot down the Geopede.
And without a Koth, or without a hero of Oxid Ridge, that Gideon will live.
Free
Oh,
power.
now Gideon is a monster.
He's fogging every turn.
With Stoic Rebuttal in hand, if not Stoic Rebuttals. Caw.
This deck is just so sick.
This blue-white deck?
Yeah. I should play decks like this, man.
Bernat definitely built his deck to be good against creatures, so it's no surprise that this game is going the way it is.
The slight twitch of his finger as he contemplates where the block will be. Sacks the land to the Step Links. Try to really get that Gideon down. Gideon by far has been the card from blue-white that has made me cringe more than anything else when I'm playing an aggressive deck.
Yep, definitely agree.
I love me some Gideon.
I mean, when it comes down to just with the red deck that I've been playing in Standard, if I look at my matchups versus blue-white, it's basically two things. If they play Gideon, I've got about a 20% matchup, and if they don't, I've got about an 80% matchup. And it's literally the case when I look at the numbers.
Cawed down. Takes one for the team.
It's the last hawk, right?
That is the
Saturday
last
day.
hawk.
The last hawk, one card in hand, and he puts it up in the air because Mike Bernat probably asked, how many cards left before I cast this Day of Judgment in my hand with my 7 other cards in my hand, or is that 12 other cards? I can't quite
Yeah,
tell.
it's all about the same.
Yeah, I mean, he can day swing with Gideon now. Maybe he doesn't though.
I think he probably wants to keep Stoic Mana open.
I agree with that, yeah.
That's reasonable. He's a Jace, so you could have a little bit of gamble. There's no reason to though.
I don't think Bernat is a man who has gamble.
He is.
There are ways that he can play this game where he does not have to gamble on jacing into another
Yeah.
blue source.
See the look right now he's giving? He's blinking his eyes, collating, collating, collating. You can see back there behind him is Midwest legend Michael Pern. Michael Pern, well known for stocking up people with infinite foil decks, if you're
Yep.
one of his friends.
Been there, done that.
It's also the infamous $10 fate spell story that I've told.
You've
Maybe
told...
I'll tell it. It was $12. Maybe we have $12. Pretty funny. How much would you pay for it?
I would not pay for face spiders. I have enough face spiders as it is.
You would have that close to home. You would pay big.
Why, did nobody have them?
Wow. Give us some break.
Yeah, just Ravnica. I mean, I have hundreds of face spiders. Alright, so
Okay, in for one on Gideon.
It's so hard to kill Gideon.
Once you're behind a Gideon, it's just getting out from under it is practically impossible.
That hawk is trying so hard.
And Mike Bernat even has a Condemn in his hand, so let's pretend some sort of crazy thing happens where we get runner, 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 runner from Ben that tears out this other stuff, and he finally gets in something. I mean, this game is over. It's just a question of how long it takes Bernat to do the work.
Right. And, just like I said, as soon as he drew his 4th blue source, cast Jace without hesitation. Waited for him to have counter mana open. This is an interesting situation where you have Jace and they have 2 fetch lands and you fate seal them. Do you just snap, leave whatever card is on top?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got to do that to VD in the top 8 of the Legacy Open in San Jose. That was awesome. Like killing him with Jace, I'm like, oh, you have a Jace on top. Yeah, leave that there. Correct his fetch land, he's just like, no, what have I done?
No, is that a...
It's a Journey of Bolt in a mountain.
Ugh.
Not the best cards.
Right. We're in another room from where the game is being played, and we've had a couple people poke their head in, look at us, and shake their head because they know it's over.
yeah. Just wondering what's going on.
I mean,
Did Bernat go through all of his hawks?
yes.
Right, Bernat just brainstorm.
So having gone through all of his hawks, I mean, he can easily, at a certain point, kill his opponent with Gideon. He's got plenty of time to kill his opponent with Jace. I mean, pretty much, we're just in the don't do anything really dumb phase of the game.
Yep. I think he's got enough where he can swing with Gideon this turn.
He has a condemn in his hand.
Yep, yeah. And there it goes. Attack for 6. Finally get this party started. Yeah. And Ben draws another fetch land. He's actually outlanding the blue-white control deck with this Boros deck. To be fair, the blue-white deck only has one extra land, but
Is that an Elspeth to roll?
that wasn't Elspeth. Another card that Bernat doesn't really need.
Yeah.
Just brainstormed into another deprive, so he's got 3 hard counters in his hand, and his opponent is sitting on actual nothing.
Here he comes. Take 6.
And yeah, Bernat has to discard because he has too many sweet spells.
His spells are so sweet.
And Ben draws another fetch land.
Yeah. that's not
Scoops
good.
him up.
There we go. That's what we want to see at this point. Just next game. All over but the crying.
Yeah, post board, Ben's going to pick up some more copies of Koth the Hammer, and he's also going to pick up some Phyrexian Revokers. Those will all be pretty good here. The Revokers less so, but
Well, he knows Adrian has Adrian. I'm like reading over here, looking at Adrian. But he knows Bernat has a ton of ratchet bombs and stuff, and he has Gideon and Elspeth, like all cards that are.
oh yeah, I
shutting
mean he's
down.
definitely bringing the Revoker, but
It's going to be Koth of the Hammer, Revoker, and I don't know if anything else makes the manages to make the cut.
Yeah, that's about it. He has Act of Treason, Tunnel Ignis. Cards that are just not very good, but he wants to side out Journey, Arc Trail, Lightning Bolt.
I mean, he might keep in Lightning Bolt just as a
Yeah,
as a reach to try to finish off.
A lot of people typically do that too.
yeah, I mean I don't really know what what he's bringing in those spots. Like
I mean,
he's
Koth
bringing
is the,
well, Koth is
Koth is the
insane,
only
and
clear-
Revoker.
yeah.
Well, Revoker's definitely coming in. How about Michael Bennett? Here he has an extra copy of. He has 2 Ratchet Bombs, 2 Core Firewalkers, extra Condemn.
I mean-
and an extra Day of Judgment.
I mean,
post-board.
basically, after board, the way that this match plays out is where it was bad before, it becomes terrible.
Yeah, it becomes miserable bad.
And Bernat knows that the only card to really fear from his opponent is probably Koth. So when we're looking at the rest of the sideboard here, I mean, the cards you don't like are Arc Trail, Journey to Nowhere, right? That's
Yeah,
4
Archer,
cards.
Archer, nowhere.
So that gives you the 2 Koth, and I guess just 2 Revoker to turn off Jace, turn off Gideon, maybe.
Yeah, and Ratchet Bomb, and
Yeah,
that card is definitely a card that comes in.
that's a solid 4 of 4 in, 4 out.
Yeah. I mean, this looks bad. Bad. Mike Bernat gets so much stuff post board.
Looks like I'm being pulled away. My
Right.
peeps are leaving.
Jerry's off.
Drew Levin is on the top 4, as is Chris Anderson.
Thank you very
Oh,
much.
English Emmys, in the same car, in the same house.
So Drew Levin, playing Red Green Valakut, is into the top 4 now. So is Chris Anderson, playing Kadaltha Red. They live in the same house, and they came in the same car, and they're playing against each other in the top 4. It's a pretty fun fact. There were 500 people in a tournament. It's pretty crazy when things like that happen.
Yeah, 544 competitors and 2 friends, 2 roommates make it all the way here. And, you know, at a certain point, one of the things you hear a lot at Magic tournaments is, oh, I can't believe I had to play somebody I know. Well, when you've been playing the game for as long as a lot of people have, it's inevitable. But it's
Yeah.
really great when that person you know, it's in the top 8, it's in the top 4.
Yeah, you have so much fun. Like, the finals of Worlds this year was one of the most fun matches I've gotten to watch in a really long time. Like, 2 best friends battling it out in the finals of Worlds. How sick is that?
That would just be so great. I mean,
It's just the most fun
Yeah.
ever.
and we're going finally to the shuffle.
I like these Nicole Bolas sleeves. Nicole Bolas is my favorite first pick in Cube. I'm not saying it's the best first pick you can make, but it's my favorite first pick.
Honestly, I would say that Nicole Bolas, in many ways, very well represents what it's like to play against Mike Bernat.
Hey, man. So, Rashad is about to give away 3 months of premium at the end of this match. So, make sure you stay on the chat and
Stay on the Twitter too, right? Or is it just the chat?
Oh,
do
we're
it
doing it via
not via the
Twitter.
chat,
I
via
apologize.
Twitter. Yeah.
Sorry, last time we did it via chat. Again, this is Jacob Van Lunen. I'm here with Adrian Sullivan, and we're in Indianapolis for the Star City Games Open Series Standard event. Right now we're watching a top 8 match. This is the quarterfinals. This is Michael Bernat. He's up a game, playing blue-white control against Ben Robinson, who is playing Burrows. Ben Robinson's deck looks really cool. He has cards like Mirror Crusader and Sword of Feast and Famine. He also has Hero of Oxid Ridge. He's got a lot of cards for Mirrodin Besiege. That's pretty exciting. Michael Bernat, on the other hand, he is playing a traditional Coggo deck, which is actually tuned to beat creature decks.
Yeah,
So this
hardcore
is-
tuned.
This is very bad for Ben Robinson. In fact, I don't think it gets much worse than this. Like if I got to bring a personal 75 designed to beat Burrows, it probably wouldn't look more than 2 cards different than how Michael Bernat's deck looks post-board.
Part of the reason it's so particularly bad is that Mike Bernat's deck has the paralyzing combination of point and click single creature Elim spells in abundance, and then
And
with
Gideon.
Day of Judgment and Gideon. That is a combination that is really hard to beat when you're a creature deck.
And it's rough because, you know, he can't not overextend because then the game gets completely out of his hands. And if he does, he just loses to days. So
You know, I feel like the ways that he wins this game involve Mike Bernat stumbling hard on mana. Like having a 3-mana hand, 3 land in his opener, and then just not finding a land for several turns.
yeah, I don't think there's much of a way Mike loses this one. He's got the. I guess you're right.
I'm
though.
just talking
Yeah.
about what the situation is in which he might lose.
Yeah, no, and I'm sure he can lose. Like, the stranger things have happened in Magic. I remember watching a Kami of the Crescent Moon deck steal a game in. Do you remember that?
Team
In,
constructed?
It was, I think it was Pro Tour Honolulu.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Actually, the Faith Spetters Pro Tour.
Okay, we got
Yeah.
the opening hand there. I think I see 3 lands, Mana Leak,
Jace the Mind Sculptor, a Condemn.
Condemn. On the other side of the table, I think I see Goblin Guide turn 1. Here we go. That is what he wants to see. Deprive is revealed. Mountain Goblin Guide, that is one of the paths for victory here. If he can follow it up with another Goblin Guide, that's the kind of draw he might want to have. Okay, some other good threat, like a Plated Geopede would be good. He's got a Lynx. A Lynx is solid. And he says go.
Ooh, no way.
No white source. That is very... Okay, there's a sack land for the white. But now he's going to be playing into a Mana Leak. So he holds off for one more turn just so that he can play around it. Shuffling that condemned Goblin Guide back into the mix. Dropping most likely a Step Lynx. To which Bernat says, okay.
Sure.
And, laying a Jace here and bouncing the step links isn't terrible normally, but remember his opponent could have 2 Koths, could have, actually 3 Koths, could have the Heroes of Oxidridge, so